shame you. If you don't go to your next therapy session, okay? No more fucking YouTube videos. Oh, I actually had a therapy thing today. You're not seeing your therapist anymore? Oh my god. Well, I had a therapy thing today. So, it was just a text message therapy session, but it was an actual, I talked to the therapist finally. We talked about not too much stuff. A little bit about, like, I guess, planning, kind of. And hobbies, I guess. I did kind of display my anxiety a little. I don't think I did a bad job. It's just, we did, like, texting, and you can speak a lot faster than you can, I guess, I don't know. The conversation's not that fast when it's in text, but it's also, like, I don't think I would have wanted to do the conversation if I had to talk, I guess, so. Not always a bad thing, it makes you more deliberate. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think that is good, actually. I think that's true. I tend to just word vomit especially when I get anxious. I start to word vomit, and I definitely get anxious in the conversations like that. You can really, really feel my anxiety, like when I start speaking quickly and stuff. Like it is radiating from me that I am talking because I'm afraid of there being no sound, or something. Or I'm just saying an infinite amount of words because I'm desperate to be understood. It's just one of those things where, I have the text logs of the conversation. We could go over my therapy session together because I have the text logs. We really didn't talk that much, I guess. Never mind, I guess I don't have the chat logs anymore. Damn. We can't go over Aoife's therapy session on stream. But we talked a little bit, like she asked about, like, because I gave information before going in, and I tried to info dump all the stuff that I thought would be relevant for, like, doing therapy, which was basically, like, you know, like, it's a lot, you know. I'm like, just so you know, like, I'm like probably suffering from, like, depression stuff. I'm probably suffering from, like, I have really bad anxiety. I have body issues, I have gender dysphoria, I probably have body dysmorphia as well as gender dysphoria. I have a job that constantly makes me interact with my self-esteem issues. I have bad social skills, I have like this, I have this kind of issue, 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 this kind of issue. And I'm like, should we mention all of these because they're all issues, you know, there's a lot of them. So I was like, I'll just say, like, basically the gist of most of the stuff. We mostly talked about just, like, she asked me a couple of probing questions, and I started out, I'm not like ultra defensive, but if you were to analyze it, I definitely start the conversation out a little not opening up much, if that makes sense. So the first few messages, she's, like, asking questions, and I'm, like, you know, one word answering. Or whatever. Yeah, guarded a little. Yeah, I'm a very guarded person. You might believe it or you might not believe it because I'm pretty open about myself. But my openness is part of my defensiveness, if that makes sense. Like part of my strategy to be guarded is to be super open, if that makes sense. Because I remember I used to feel like I remember in relationships, I used to feel like I had a lot of deal breakers. I had a lot of, like, red flags, I guess. Or I do have a lot of red flags. Or I used to think I had a lot of, like, I was a difficult person to date. You know, is how I thought of myself. So the strategy that I came up with to offset the fact that I was a difficult person to date was to basically make it really clear that I'm a difficult person to date. So I developed my strategy of, like, oversharing my flaws so that the person wouldn't be blindsided by them, like, further on into the relationship. So I'm very, very open with my flaws. I'm very open with my problems. I'm very open with, like, the things that are difficult, you know? I'm just very open about myself because my thought process is, like, if I'm very open about myself, then those can't be, like, I guess you can't use it against me if I told you already, you know? stuff like that. So my openness is kind of one of the reasons I'm guarded, like one of the ways I'm guarded, I guess. Then yeah, so at the start I was a little guarded with the conversation. Then I think she got me on, I think when she got me to engage, was when she asked about my interests, which it was also funny because you can see the typing and the erasing of the typing, which is an interesting mind game. Because if you type something and then you erase it, they could, like, you or the person get to see that, like, they typed something and then erased it. So the therapist can see that I tried to have, like, form a thought and then changed my mind on that thought and deleted it and stuff. And I can see when if they ask a question and I answer before they're finished speaking, I can see them stop their like, before they even hit send on the message, I can send a message. So when there was a couple of times where she was writing a message and I would answer her message before she even hit send, basically, you know, which was funny. We're talking about, I had like a text therapy type thing today, which is just, it was my first time having a conversation about my mental health in a while, really, other than to my friend, so I'm talking about it a little bit. Yeah, you can see they can see what you type as you type it as well. So I think the first question she got me to engage on was asking me about my interests, and I started to just list them all out. But then after I started to list them all out, I was like, I thought that felt weird to me to just list out all of my interests. So I was just like, I think I have a lot of like a pretty wide range of interests. Then she talked to me a little bit about streaming, but not about sex work, which was, I told her that I do the sex work stuff, but she talked to me about streaming and not about that in the first conversation, which was interesting, I think. But we talked a bit about streaming, and then I kind of displayed my anxiety about being a content creator a little bit, I think. Which is that, like, it's hard to grow for me and not feel like I'm doing, how do I word this? I have low self-esteem, but high, like, self-confidence, I guess, or something like that. Something along those lines. So there's like a conflict within me, okay? But there's a part of me that always puts myself down. And there's another part of me that's very, very confident in myself and my abilities. If I can be allowed to excel, I guess. So like the way I think about it is like, I think if I were to get hyper fixated on something, like hyper focused into some skill that I want to learn, and if I get hyper fixated on it, I will do excellent. I will do extremely well in that skill. I am confident that if I dedicate the time to any skill, I will get good at it. I'm confident about that. There's a few that I'm not, like a couple that I'm not. For example, working out is a skill where I'm actually not confident that even if I spent time and effort on working out that I would get good at it for numerous reasons. But for example, like my makeup, like I spent time and effort on it and I got good at it. And I knew I would get good at it if I practiced it. My photos, I spent time and put in energy and stuff and I got good at it, you know? It just seems reasonable. Yeah, I think it is reasonable. So, in terms of like content creation, like streaming and stuff, I feel confident that if I could dedicate the time and effort to like really focusing, not on my actual, like not just on streaming, but on how to do a good stream, like how to correctly stream, I would get good at it, and I would get very good at it. It's just that being able to like actually spend time just sitting there and focusing on how do I like stream, how do I get good at streaming is what I need to grind. But like it's just complicated, but I need to grind it, but it also takes a lot of time, and I don't have time to grind every skill. And the issue I always find myself in is is that I have so many things that I need to improve. I have so many things I need to improve. And it's like, damn, sucks trying to like get one of the, like any one of these what I want to do is I want to just spend 28 hours a day on one fucking thing. And I can't. I'm not allowed to do that, like physically. I just physically can't do that. But that's how I get good at things, you know? And some skills are like artificially time gated. Like eating is a time gated skill, you know? Because there are times when I really, really, really want to work on my eating, but I can't work on my eating for 50 days in one day. I can only work on I can't develop my eating skill 50 days of like progress in one day. Like I can develop a different skill with like an insane grind or whatever, like an insane fucking hyper focus. I have to do the eating thing every single day. I haven't discussed eating with a therapist, which is a risky topic for sure. As you know, we talked about it a little actually. So, eating is my nightmare topic. Like truly, eating is my nightmare topic. Oh yeah, the wine bottle. Fellow Canadian Malcolm Gladwell, written by Voice Scribing here, that often amongst people excel at things is the opportunity plus the inclination. Yeah, I think that is true. And I think like it feels easy to me. It doesn't feel easy, but it does feel simple, I guess. Like anything that I want to get good at, if I just start grinding it, I'm good. I'm there. I know it. I do know it. Like, honestly, if I just start grinding at it, I'm there. I'm gonna be there. It's just, the problem is I have to sacrifice things that already exist in order to do that, if that makes sense. So like, if I want to get good at, for example, Twitch and streaming, I have to sacrifice my socializing with friends. I have to sacrifice my eating. I have to sacrifice my Twitter posts. I have to sacrifice my OnlyFans posts. Like I have to sacrifice so many things to get like good at streaming. But I could easily I could do it and I would get really good at streaming. I know I would. It's just, I don't know if I can sacrifice all those other things right now, you know? But damn, sometimes I wish I could just do nothing but stream for like literally just only stream and only do don't tweet, don't bother fucking tweeting, or don't give a shit about Twitter, don't give a shit about OnlyFans, don't give a shit about my friends, don't give a shit about my roommate, don't give a shit about anything. Just fucking go crazy on streaming. That would be excellent. A subathon? I could do a subathon. I think when I fix my lighting setup, I will do one. When I move apartment, maybe. 24-hour Nuzlocke stream? I could, maybe, although playing one game for 24 hours sounds like a lot, but streaming for 24 hours in general sounds really easy, actually. Like, super easy. The only challenge of, like, streaming that long is, like, do you, like, what if I fall, like, do I care if I fall asleep on stream? Does if I Pokemon the whole time? Yeah, true, honestly. Do it now then? Like, do the 24-hour stream starting now? I could do it. You don't tempt me. I will do it, okay? People would pay to see me sleep on stream? Maybe.